Hello, and welcome to Module 2 of our Web Design Mastery class. So in this module, we're going to be going straight into WordPress and web design. So this is more like an introduction, alright, into the course. I know we've had the foundational sessions in Module 1. So right now we are going straight into WordPress. Okay, so in this module we're going to be going into the technical sessions, which is of course the practical aspect of this program. So in this module, you're going to be learning how the web works and why WordPress is the world's #1 web building platform. Okay, so first let's establish what website design is. Okay, web design is simply creating the visual, structural, and functional elements of websites that help businesses succeed online. Okay, so it is the storefronts, so to speak, that people see online, all right, for a business, right? It's what they see visually, and it has a structure, it has functional elements. Okay, so when they come online, that's a combination of all this. That's what they see. That's what makes up a website. So putting all this together is what web design actually is. Alright, so what makes a good website? Now, a great website has to be clean, alright, and then of course it should load fast. So when we say loads fast, it's not when you type in the URL or the domain name, it will take like a number of minutes for it to load. That actually puts visitors off. So it has to be fast, and then it should be able to convert visitors into customers. So it should have elements that can lead the people who visit the website from just being visitors into becoming paying customers. All right, so you should have that layout. Of course, we're going to be looking into all that, and then a good website should be able to build trust. All right, so it should have elements that when people see it, they can actually trust the business that owns this website. So it should have some specific elements which should build trust. So of course we're also going to be looking into that much later in the course. Then a good website should be able to work on all devices, all right, because people who are going to be visiting the website, they are going to be coming from different devices. Some are going to be seeing the website from their mobile device, some from their tablet, some from their laptop, all right, but majority of the visitors to a website are usually on mobile, all right, so it should be able to work on any device at all from which they are going to be visiting the website. Now, a good website should be easy to navigate, all right. So navigation simply means moving from one page to the next, from one section to the next. So it's not something that should be cumbersome. When a visitor lands on the website, maybe the landing page or the home page, they shouldn't be wondering what next to do, all right, how to go to the next page or how to go to the next session. It should be easily navigable. Okay. Alright, now this program is actually WordPress web design, alright, which means we're going to be building websites using the WordPress content management system. Okay, but why are we using WordPress? Why WordPress? Why not any other content management system? Now, first and foremost, WordPress makes up 43% of all the websites on the internet. All right, a whopping 43% of the websites on the internet is built on WordPress. So that's a whole lot, right? That tells you how popular this content management system is. And the only reason it's popular is because it is very, very good. All right, very, very useful for building websites without writing a single line of code. Okay, and that's what this program is all about. And then also, it's very, very easy for beginners. All right, it's very beginner friendly. Even if you didn't know anything about websites before, you can actually use WordPress to start building your website. It's something you can easily learn. All right, because you don't have to write any code. You don't need any cumbersome, sophisticated elements in the WordPress that you cannot learn. So it's easy for beginners to jump on WordPress and build their websites. And then also, WordPress is extremely powerful. All right, it can actually hold a website very, very strongly compared to other content management systems out there. And then WordPress is also SEO friendly. All right, SEO simply means search engine optimization. Okay, it simply means how the website can rank on search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, and the rest of them. So when it comes to ranking on search engines, WordPress does very, very good, okay, in that regard. And then also, WordPress is scalable. In other words, you can duplicate the pages, duplicate the you can scale it. You can actually expand it almost infinitely. Okay, and then also WordPress is supported globally. WordPress has a very large community on WordPress.org. Okay, and it is very, very widely supported. Okay, now let's look at a comparison between WordPress content management system and other content management systems. So we're looking at Wix and Shopify. All right, so why WordPress? Why not Wix or Shopify? Now, WordPress is best for service businesses. Okay, so you can easily use it to build service business websites, portfolio websites. All right. Then Shopify is best for e-commerce businesses. Not that you cannot use WordPress for e-commerce businesses. You very well can use WordPress for e-commerce businesses. All right. Of course, with the aid of a plugin. Okay, we're going to be looking at plugins much later. All right, but Shopify, from experience, is more suitable for e-commerce business. Right, and then talking about Wix is limited in scalability. You can't actually scale Wix the way you can scale WordPress. All right, so that's why it's not a match. All right, for WordPress in building websites. All right, so how does websites work? How does it work? Now let's look at the key components of a website. The first thing is the domain. All right, your website has a domain. Okay, we'll look at that shortly. And then it has hosting. You have to host the website. Okay, and then of course you need the content management system. In this case, we're going to be using WordPress as our content management system. Okay, and of course the website will have themes. Okay, you have a theme, and then of course plugins, and then the content, which includes the copy, that's the website copy, the images, the media, right? So all these make up the website, and they work together to hold the website online, that's on the internet. Okay, all right. Let's look at WordPress.org versus WordPress.com. Now, these are two different aspects of the WordPress organization or the WordPress empire. So we have WordPress.org, and then we also have WordPress.com. Okay, the WordPress.org is actually self-hosted. That's from where you get the WordPress content management system, which you're going to install on your website and use it to build your website. So it's self-hosted and you have full control over it. Okay, but WordPress.com is limited. Is actually you have the WordPress software, and then you have the WordPress.com itself as a hosting platform. So the WordPress software is hosted on the WordPress.com hosting platform. All right, so this is limited, and of course it's not recommended for professionals. All right, so we work with the WordPress CMS on WordPress.org, not WordPress.com. Okay, all right, so let's look at the web design ecosystem. So as a web designer, who are the people you're going to be working with? Let's say, for example, you are in an organization as a web designer. All right, so, or maybe you are even a freelancer. So who are the other people, or what are the other tasks or services that you're going to need, okay, to actually create a full complete website? Number one, developers. All right, so you're gonna need there's a developer, someone who is going to develop the framework, all right, and then also the layouts. Okay, now you're going to need copywriters. Copywriters are those who are going to write the copy. The copy is the texts that are going to be on the various pages of the website, right? So copywriters can handle that. And then you have SEO specialists. SEO, like I said, is search engine optimization. So that is another job or another service that is needed for a website. And then you have the graphic designer. So every website has media, it has graphic, all right, image content, graphic content. So you're gonna need a graphic designer for that aspect. That is a separate job, all right. And then of course you need business owners, the clients who is going to be paying for the website at the end of the day, all right. And then of course a marketing team, people who are going to be out there marketing the business. Now all these different jobs or different roles that come together to make a website happen can be one person, except of course the business owner, all right. So you can just have the web designer and then the business owner or the client on the other end, all right. So the web designer can be the developer, the copywriter, the SEO specialist, the graphic designer, and even the marketer of the business itself, all right. So you may just be starting as a freelancer, all right, and then as time goes on you can now grow into a web design agency where you can now have other people handling other aspects of the website's creation. Okay, all right. So what are the career opportunities in web design? what are those career opportunities in website design? So you have a freelancer, so you can work as a freelancer. In other words, you go out there, you look for businesses that need websites, and then you design websites for them and get paid. All right, so it's one-on-one between you, the web designer, and the client. And then you can also have another model, all right, where you are now the agency owner. So it's not just you, the web designer. You now have other people who are carrying out other jobs, like we saw in the other slide, the graphic designer, the SEO person, and the rest of them. So all this put together now makes an agency, right? And then you now have the agency owner. Okay, now you can also be an in-house designer. In other words, you are working in a web design agency as their in-house web designer. All right, and then of course you can be an SEO assistant. So your own role is to actually help the websites to rank on search engines. That's what you do. Okay, and then you can be a WordPress specialist. So WordPress specialist, yours is to design the WordPress framework, get the framework organized, install the WordPress, and then of course place content on it after all the other aspects have been put in place. So you just put everything together. So that's a WordPress specialist. And then you can be a digital consultant, helping business owners, helping other businesses get to understand how to maintain their website, how to get their website to rank on search engines, how to generate leads with their website, and a whole lot of information. So you're just there as a consultant. When people need to have things on their website, maybe they want to do like an audit of a website, they want their website, so you can help them do that. All right, tell them what's broken on the website, what can be improved on the website, and all that. So that's a digital consultant. Okay. All right, so what are the tools you will use in this training? So number one, you need your WordPress. All right, so of course WordPress is free, it's readily available on wordpress.org, of course, and also on nearly every hosting platform where you can easily download it to your website. Okay, and then secondly, you need Elementor. Elementor is a website builder that is very compatible with WordPress, so you need that as well. And then you need AI tools. All right, so of course the AI tools we're going to be unveiling to you in this training, so you need that as well. And then you need Canva. Canva is a graphic design software. All right, so you're going to be needing that Canva. And then also other graphic design software, which we're also going to introduce to you. All right, so you also need hosting cPanels. So depending on the hosting platform you're using, you're going to be given a cPanel. cPanel means control panel. All right, so every hosting platform, every hosting account comes with a control panel. So you're going to need that from where you will control the hosting of the website. Okay, now you also need SEO tools. So there are various SEO tools which we'll be introducing to you in the course of the training. So you see how to use all that to help your website to be able to rank. And then we have automation tools. So there are tools you can use to automate your workflow that has to do with project management, right? So that's a different skill entirely. but when learned can be useful to help you organize your work. Okay. All right, so what are you going to be building? What are we going to be building? Now you're going to build a full website. By the end of this training, you should be able to build your full website, and then you have your portfolio projects in place. You'll also have your client demo sites in place, and then of course optimized pages on your website. And at the end of the training, you will get a certificate after the training. Okay. All right, so as an assignment, it is very important you set up your learning environment. So you're on a learning journey. All right, so there's a program where you're going to be learning a very relevant, in-demand, high-paying skill. So you need to get yourself set, get your environment set, get your mindset set. Of course, we did mindset positioning throughout the module 1, so by now you should already have your mind set. All right, then of course your laptop should be ready. You're going to be needing your laptop, so have that ready. Have your notebook, because for every class you're going to maybe need to write down some salient points, which is going to help you as you build and design. All right, then of course your Chrome browser, you're going to need that to be able to access applications, tools, even media online. All right, and then your Gmail, you're going to need that Gmail account for correspondence, maybe with your clients or even with your team, although there are other platforms that can be used for communication with your team. Okay, and then prepare to install hosting in the next class. So in the next class, we're going to talk about hosting. All right, so I believe you've learned some things in this class, so get yourself ready for the next class. And in summary, if I can put together everything we've discussed in this module 2 in 3 sentences, that will be: WordPress gives power, web design gives you income, and then AI gives you speed. Okay, this is very important. So that's it for module 2. I'll see you in the next module.